Megan walks into my office after several months of hard work in her individual and group therapy. Her brow is furrowed. She looks confused. No, she actually seems to be in pain. If I have learned nothing else in my years as a psychotherapist, I have learned to not jump to conclusions by reading facial expressions and body language. I use that visual information to formulate questions, but I always remember to ask the questions. "You don't look very comfortable," I said to Megan. "What's going on?" "I'm not sure," she began. "Everything seems to be okay, but I have this anxious feeling sort of lodged in my gut." The next few minutes of conversation reveal that Megan is experiencing something that is actually quite common in personal growth work. Her hard work has begun to pay off. She is thinking in realistic and healthy ways. She is standing up for herself at work and at home. She is even beginning to have fun. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that Megan doesn't have much experience with such things. She has worked her way into a space that is foreign to her. Her success is not initially perceived as success. It just feels strange. Too often, this is where many of us react by turning back, so uncomfortable with the unfamiliar feelings that we actually choose to return to old dysfunctional thinking and behaving because it is familiar. For some reason, we perceive familiar as safer. When we roll up our sleeves to do the hard work of letting go of old, ineffective ways of thinking and behaving, it is sort of like redecorating a room. First, we clear out what has been there. Take the pictures off the wall, take the furniture out, take up the rug. And then we find ourselves in an empty room. I describe this metaphor to Megan and ask her to close her eyes and visualize herself standing in the middle of the empty room that she has created. She does so, and I notice her brow furrowing again. "What's it like there?" "That's it," she says immediately. "This is the anxiety in my gut I told you about. The emptiness scares me." The challenge at this point in our personal growth is to slow down and be willing to simply experience the feelings and thoughts associated with our success, even if it doesn't feel like success. The challenge is to avoid the temptation to put everything back in the room that we have just worked so hard to remove. And the challenge is to resist the impulse to run out to the first furniture store we can find and get something back in there quick, anything. I say to Megan, and I say to you, leave the space open for a time. I call this space divine emptiness. It's a space in which we usually know more about who we are not than who we are. And we know more about what we don't want than what we want. But this is normal. This is a natural phase in recovery. When we can respect this space enough to endure the strangeness, the anxiety, and the fear that we will experience, the emptiness itself will begin to attract what we need to fill the space. Now close your eyes and imagine an empty room around you. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? An addendum. Being safe and feeling fear are not opposites. One of the great challenges of personal growth work is finding our way to feeling safe enough to finally experience our deepest fear. Safe, scared, then free. Then, like the shampoo bottle says, repeat.